The UK Ministry of Defence stated in its most recent intelligence briefing that Russia's redeployment of frontline soldiers to support its degraded units in the southeast of Ukraine is likely impeding Moscow's capacity to conduct offensive operations in other frontline locations. According to the ministry, Ukrainian forces moved into the main Russian defense line's multi-layered area east of the town of Robotyne in the Zaporizhia region. According to the mayor of Melitopol, an attack on Friday damaged the United Russia political party's offices in the Ukrainian city of Palahi, which is now under Russian occupation. Locals at the hellish pseudo-elections in the partially occupied Zaporizhia Oblast described Russians as burned out of the headquarters, according to Ivan Fedorov on the messaging service Telegram. The UN Human Rights Office reported today that the Russian conflict on Ukraine had damaged or destroyed a staggering 851 educational establishments. According to the military administration of the Sumy region, a civilian hurt in yesterday's Russian rocket attack on the Sumy Oblast has passed away. Yesterday, 7 settlements along the border of the oblast were shelled by Russian forces, resulting in 61 explosions. Russian military shelled 3 bordering settlements 5 times overnight and early in the morning, causing 37 explosions. According to Alexander Vilkel, the leader of the Kryvyi Rih Defense Council, a young man was murdered in a Russian missile attack on the city yesterday. According to Vilkel, the attack left 74 individuals injured, 34 of whom were hospitalized, and 3 of whom were in critical condition. Russian forces reportedly lost 600 personnel yesterday, according to the General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, increasing the total number of Russian personnel lost since February 2022 to 268,140. According to Reuters, the G20 leaders' statement on Ukraine acknowledged the different views and assessments regarding Russia's invasion of the nation but emphasized that all governments must act in a way that is consistent with the purposes and principles of the UN Charter in its entirety. The declaration declares that all governments must refrain from using force or threatening to use it against another state's territorial integrity, sovereignty, or political independence in order to gain territory. Since the outset of the invasion, Russia has claimed that Ukraine, a recognized independent country, is really Russia. A thorough war crimes inquiry into Russia's activities in the nation, some of which include the killing of people, rape, and looting, has already been launched by Ukraine. The document further asserts that the G20 is not the appropriate forum for resolving security and geopolitical matters. However, it demanded that the implementation be timely and effective to guarantee immediate and unhindered shipments of grain, food, and fertilizers from Russia and Ukraine. In order to safeguard the secure transportation of goods from and to Ukraine, a major agricultural hub known as the breadbasket of Europe, Russia withdrew from the Black Sea Grain Agreement in July. This agreement was mediated by the UN and Turkey. Moscow claimed that the deal's promise to make it easier for Russia to export its own food and fertilizer had not been kept. Russia has frequently targeted Ukrainian ports and grain storage facilities since ending the grain arrangement. Today, Russia declared that it would not budge from its demands for the resumption of the Black Sea grain trade, particularly the reconnection of a state agricultural bank, not a subsidiary of the bank suggested by the UN, to the global SWIFT bank payment system. Every one of our terms is quite widely known. Dmitry Peskov, a spokesman for the Kremlin, stated that they do not require interpretation because they are completely concrete and all of this is definitely feasible. According to Anton Gyashenko, an advisor to the Ukrainian Minister of Internal Affairs, mobile carriers in Russia are having trouble getting the base stations they need to sustain and develop their networks due to sanctions. By the end of the year, operators including MTS, Megafon, Vimpelcom, and Tele2 only had between 20,000 and 30,000 stations. According to Alexander Savalobov, deputy head of the NTI Competence Center for Wireless and Internet of Things Technologies, normal operation requires at least 80,000 stations. Operators are now required to test technology from Chinese third-echelon manufacturers after official deliveries from China's Huawei, Finland's Nokia, and Sweden's Ericsson were all halted. Alexei Boyko, an analyst of the specialized Telegram channel Abloud62, warned that a transition to this equipment may lead to failures in communication networks and increased costs for equipment repair.